How's it going, everybody? Nikki D here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today we're going to be talking about Ashley Madison and something about a data breach. Stick around. All right, so I got a comment a little while ago on my Ashley Madison dating app review video, whatever you want to call it, and someone asked me about the dating breach or the app breach on the website. App breach, whatever you want to call it, but there was a hack anyway. Needless to say, with the site, and I heard about it like eons ago, but I never really looked into the data. I never looked into any of the information. So that's what we're gonna do today. This is basically a live reaction. I've kind of I'll figure out how we're going to probably just put the text on the screen so you'll see what I'm saying. It's all going to be from Wikipedia, and I'll link the article or the web page there in the description below if you guys are interested in looking at it. Now, if you're not up to speed, up to snuff on what's going on, Ashley Madison in about 2015 did have a computer hack. They were hacked apparently by a team called the Impact Team. Typically, when this stuff kind of happens, like with I work in IT, so I have a vague ID on it, I guess you could say. When that'll happen, a lot of the time they'll just ransom. Like it'll be like money. Like it'll be all right. Like give us $50,000 or we'll leak your shit out to the public. That in itself is a bad thing, right? Like because your data's out there. But it's really bad because people will hear about it, right? People will hear about it. Like if you bank with like, you know, EQ Bank or Scotia Bank or something, and all their stuff gets leaked, a lot of people might go, ooh, and then like leave that bank. Like they don't feel safe or they might not join that banking institution, as an example. Now, the difference here was that Ashley Madison, when all the information got leaked, they actually leaked the information. And I started reading a little bit of it and I had to stop myself to make this video. The information is staggering. All right. So again, if you're living under a rock, Ashley Madison is I'll call it in quotations here, a dating website where you find affair partners. So I did a review on it a few weeks ago, probably about 3 weeks ago. And yeah, that's the idea. You go on, you get an affair partner. It's a paid service. Now, again, this is obviously a few years ago, 2015. So some of the things in here might be a little bit different than what I found in my 2024 review. So let's just kind of read along and see what we have here. So this is just the first blurb here. I just want to kind of read about it. So yeah, in July of 2015, a group calling itself the Impact Team announced they'd stolen user data from Ashley Madison, which is, they called it a commercial website billed as enabling affairs. The hackers copied personal information about the site's user base and threatened to leak the users' names. And what they wanted, so their threat was, if they wanted them immediately to shut down. They didn't even want money. They just shut down. So anyway, they didn't do it. So they were like, all right, let's leak some stuff so to prove it. So it says here they leaked, quote, 2,500 users' information was initially released. The company initially denied their records were insecure and continued to operate. So they tried to play it cool. 2,500 people's information was out. You can pretty much guess that's about everything. That's your credit. Yeah, like it says right here. So it's home address, real name, credit card transactions, and also, apparently, a lot of people were fearing that they'd be publicly shamed. Could you imagine, like, going on to trying to find a fair partner in secret, and then, like, that happens? Yeah, so more than 60 gigabytes eventually did get released to the public. So this is kind of where I want to scroll down and read. We don't need too much on the timeline. It does have the timeline information. But yeah, 60 gigabytes, that's... yeah, that's a lot of data. Let's read the impact here. Yeah, so none of the accounts on the website need email verification for the profile to be created, meaning that people can often create profiles with fake email addresses. And apparently, they actually had to pay to delete the profile. This would prevent people who had accounts set up without their consent as like a pranked or mistyped email from deleting without paying. Could you actually imagine if you were to like sign up to a dating site? Could you imagine like Tinder today? You're like, man, I'm going to make a Tinder account, and it's like log in with email or phone number. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll make an account. And when you go to do that, when you go to delete your account, it's like a $1.99 surcharge to delete it. That is one of the most heinous things ever. It kind of makes a little sense because you could just like, apparently you don't need to verify anything. So you could just type in like lol@hotmail.com and you could just delete that person's email if they were using it, like, or their account, which would be kind of wild. All right. Let's see what else here we had. So yeah, prevented people without their with the prank and all that. Hackers allege that Avid Life Media received 1.7 million a year from people trying to shut down user profiles that were created on the site. The company falsely asserted that paying them would fully delete the profiles, which the hack was untrue. So if you ever had that fear in your life that you're like, man, I made a Facebook account, I deleted my Facebook account, and like my data's gone from the internet. It's not, buddy. So they actually still had the data because it was still in the leak. So they actually had deleted accounts data. Like, you can't even say that sentence without it just sounding insane. Like, that just sounds insane. Right? There's another point here talking about a 27-year-old Christian teenage member. Okay, it says teenage member of a conservative Christian family, but he's 27 years old. But I guess, I don't know. That's how he is. Maybe it's his rank in the church there. But apparently it had records of nearly $1,000 of transactions on a credit card account in his name on Ashley Madison. $1,000, dude. And on August 20th, he admitted he had been unfaithful to his wife. The data breach had quickly followed the release of a past police report alleging that he had fondled some younger women. Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Following the hack, there was a bunch of vigilantes. I can't, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't say the word. I'm on camera. Anyway, they were going around trying to get people publicly humiliated. Wow. There's a lot in here. Vigilantes. That's it. I don't know why I couldn't say the word. Apparently there was actually a class action lawsuit for $567 million. It's pretty good. I don't know. Let's see. And apparently they would settle for 11.2. That's a little lower. This is really what I want to talk about, though. This last bit is what I really want to talk about. Please feel free to read the article on Wikipedia there and have a look, because there's a lot of cool information in this. But this is really, and the data analysis is really what I wanted to be. So there was a chief, anyway, that analyzed the leaked data. They found out. Now I want you to be lying down for this one. So they initially found out that roughly 12,000 of the 5.5 million registered female accounts were used on a regular basis, which actually works out to about 0.2% of the accounts were actually regularly used that were female. I want you to just wrap your mind around that, okay? So Ashley Madison, and a fair dating website, you want to call it like it is, 0.2% of female accounts are actually active. Like, and think about just active. Like, log in sometimes. Shoot a message. It just gets worse. All right? This is the one I heard about, like, years ago. I knew that number was really, really bad. Like, it was millions of fake accounts, but I never knew it was that bad. The vast majority of accounts had only been used only one time, and it was the day they were actually registered. They also found out that a very high number of women's accounts were created from the same IP address, which just suggests, obviously, that they're all fake accounts being made by the same place. They found women check their email messages very infrequently. Every one time a woman checked her email, 13,585 men checked theirs. 1 to 13,000. Only 9,700 of the 5 million female accounts had ever even replied to a message, compared to the 5.9 million men who would do the same. Keep that in mind. 9,700 women actually replied out of 5 million in the data breach, and 5.9 million men responded. Big difference. Okay? They concluded that the women's accounts show so little activity, they might as well not even be there. They had misunderstood the evidence in the previous article, and that the conclusion was that there were very few females active on the site, according to the data. And they just think it was basically bot activities, which just basically just makes sense. All as we can see is that when fake humans contacted real ones, as what they were seeing. So they were seeing fake females contacting real men. Passwords on live site were hashed using the an algorithm, using the password recovery tool. Found in among 4,000 passwords that were the easiest to crack were 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and password. Wow, those were the most common passwords. Honestly, like, people always like say this whole thing about like fake accounts, but like in a paid dating site where you see like women, you know, and or the opposite, right? Where you're like, oh wow, look at this like really attractive male, you know, just move with caution, That's all I'm saying, okay? Play with caution on that site because like it's paid, right? They're going to make money one way or another here. So be careful. Like it's not, I'm not saying that just, for whatever reason. Like actually be careful because you don't know, right? You have no idea what you're getting yourself into when you look at this stuff and you're like, oh, look, I got a message. It's clicking. It really wants me to send it. Like new message, right? That's that dopamine hit. And this is where they got a lot of guys obviously paying a lot of money for something that's really not worth it. Anyway, I hope you guys found that video interesting. I just really meant to talk about it. I read your guys' comments, man. I like to see what you guys write. And anytime someone says, hey, by the way, could you check this out? Yes, please. Yes, please. I will absolutely do it. If you guys have any recommendations of dating apps you want me to review, so I'm just trying to do some things here. Let me know, and I will, I'll get on it. All right. Take her easy. Thanks for watching. Peace.